Hey everybody, I'm Nancy Ann. This is Nancy Ann's Unboxings, and this video is going to have absolutely nothing to do about unboxing. I'm going to be talking about my sleep therapy as it goes down because I think there might be other people out there who are having problems with sleep, and I'm going to do everything on a first take, so you're going to get the real me making all the real mistakes and with real wet hair, at least here in the beginning. The perm likes wet hair and it looks better when I let it dry on its own. So I am a little more kind of buttoned up and serious during my regular videos because it seems like as soon as the camera comes on, I get serious and I have to force myself to smile. But I'm just going to try and act like me and like the regular talky me. And by the way, you've probably noticed this a little bit on my videos, but I tend to chase rabbit trails and not stay on topic. So see, like right now, I'm off topic. So anyway, okay, so there we go. That's what we're going to do. This is going to be a video on an unboxing channel about sleep and my sleep therapy. So stick around if you want to see this. So that was way too long an introduction, and we don't know how many people we just lost, but the truth is this video is not going to do very well on my channel anyway, because it's not about unboxings, and the algorithm is not going to know what the bleep to do with it, and it's going to wind up out in the ethernet somewhere, and then one day 250,000 people who have problems with sleep are going to Google, and the algorithm will have kind of put it someplace and they'll find it, and then all of a sudden it'll go viral. You watch. Okay, that'll be like 4 years down the road. Okay, so anyway, I'm Nancy Ann. If you've never been here before, I do unboxings of all kinds. Anything that can come out of a box, particularly subscription boxes, I will unbox it for you. If you are a company that does subscription boxes, I'm your girl, but that has nothing to do with what I wanted to talk to you about today. I'm going to be talking to you about it for a few weeks. I am a person who has a terrible time with sleeping. I didn't always. I've always been capable of sleeping. If I take Tylenol PM for a few nights, that will often help me, but it doesn't solve my whole problem. And my biggest problem is I can fall asleep just fine, and then I wake up in the middle of the night. And a lot of times when I wake up in the middle of the night, usually go to the restroom, but sometimes I just wake up because I wake up or something noisy happens in the bedroom. Sorry about the bouncy camera. This is my phone. It is not our regular camera. See, rabbit trail. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, usually when I wake up in the middle of the night, it is to go to the restroom, and then I come back to bed, and then I just lay there. You do that? Lay there, and I lay there. And then I finally give up, and I turn the light on, and I read something, or I get my Kindle, so as not to disturb my husband, and I read something, and then eventually I'll fall back to sleep, which usually results in me waking up a lot later than I originally wanted to, because I had to get more sleep, and this has been an ongoing thing, and has not helped with my depression. Yes, I am someone who suffers from chronic depression. You may not know that. It's getting a lot better lately. I did have a really bad bout with depression because of some medication I was taking. I found out one of the side effects when I read the paperwork after taking it for several years could be anxiety and depression. And it was bad depression. Like I was thinking of doing really not nice things to myself. So that was a few months ago, and I've been in counseling, and I mentioned to my counselor that I'm having a hard time with insomnia, and she actually put me with a sleep therapist. Now, I am a veteran, and I'm getting all of these therapies through the VA, so I'm not paying for it. And I realize most people don't have the luxury of that, and sometimes you have to pay buku amounts of money to get help with these things. So I thought, what if I can chronicle my experience for you? And then some of you who are having problems with this maybe can implement some of the things I'm going through and some of the things that we're doing to help. So at this point, I've only seen the sleep therapist once. She has me keeping records of my sleep habits and what's happening, and then we'll go from there. But she gave me paperwork that I could read if I wanted to, which I want to, because I'm one of these nerdy people who reads all of the problems with prescription meds, and I read the directions on everything I buy, and I have all the warranties. Yeah, I'm one of those people. So I wanted to read it. And by the way, this is what I've been reading when I wake up in the middle of the night, is that paperwork. So I can kind of see what's going to be coming up in the next few weeks. And I have some questions and concerns about how that will go. And I do think I could probably implement a lot of it on my own. And the temptation is to stop chronicling and just start implementing. But I know she needs a good pattern for my sleep. So I'm just going to continue waking up in the middle of the night. And okay, that was a lot of talking really, really fast, because I do tend to talk really, really fast. I didn't rabbit trail as much as I would thought, but now I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you my paperwork of what I have been chronicling, and this will be our starting point. My appointment is next week to bring this to her, and this is the 21st of October. It is Friday, the 21st of October. And if a Friday is not actually the 21st of October, it means that I got the date wrong because I am sure it's Friday. So anyway, next Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, I have the appointment with her and we'll talk about it. And then she'll implement the things that I think I already know what they are because I read ahead in the paperwork. So anyway, that is so much babbling. Let me turn this around and show you what my record keeping looks like. Be right back. Gosh, I hope you can see this. Okay, I'll get it in closer. I do want to say before I get going with this, because I always have something to say before I get going with anything, and I try really, really hard not to do that, just get to the point, but it's hard for me. That I'm so glad my husband will be editing this and not me. And honey, I'm sorry ahead for the nightmare that this is going to be in editing when it comes right down to it. But he's getting a lot better at his editing skills, so maybe he'll do okay with it. Let's all hope so. So here we go. This is the thingamajiggy, the chart I'm supposed to fill out every night. And you will see it says complete immediately prior to bed regarding how you felt today. She said I didn't have to do this part. She mostly wanted me to do this down here where I keep number of the hours, but me being the anal retentive person that I am, I'm filling this out too because I just have to fill and check all of the boxes. So here we go. So this just covers things like my general health, how I felt today, my stress, my fatigue, my concentration, my pain, number of alcoholic beverages. I rarely drink an alcoholic beverage. Did I take any over-the-counter medications, any prescription medications, and if I had naps. By the way, it looks like going forward, I will not be able to take naps, which isn't too big a problem because I don't generally take naps anyway, except on Sunday afternoons. I like to lay in my husband's recliner, watch TV, and pass in and out while watching Dateline. Which there you go, another rabbit trail. But I'm gonna miss those naps. But you know what? If it helps me get sleep, okie dokie, karaoke. Alrighty. So I've been filling this out with a date up top every day, and I'm scoring each one. The pain, you see, I put DOMS. That's for delayed onset muscle soreness because I lift weights, and I did a kick backside leg workout that left me sore all the way through Thursday. Okay, so there's that, and then down here. We've got the time I went to bed, the time I got out of bed, so I do this. I do this the next morning. I'm supposed to, except I keep looking at the clock because I'm afraid I'll forget the numbers, and a lot of times I just write them down while I'm awake, which is counterintuitive. But anyway, I take the time to get out of bed the next day, the minutes it took to fall asleep, the times I woke up, how many times I woke up, the total minutes I was awake after those awakenings, and I'm supposed to combine them all. So like if I woke up 2 times and I was awake 20 minutes one time and an hour the next, then that would equal 80 minutes, which I've got right here. And then additional minutes awake before my alarm got out of bed. So sometimes I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and I'll read, and I'm not going to go back to sleep again. And so then I'll wind up, for 45 minutes laying there until I finally give up and I just get out of bed. And then the minutes out of bed while awake during the night, which is never any, I just lay there. And by the way, the paperwork says that I am supposed to get up if I've laid there and I cannot sleep. Just get up. Don't read. Don't do anything in the bed except for, you guessed it, sleep and intimate activities. I actually thought that reading non-electronic thingamajiggies, like anything that wasn't my Kindle, was okay if it was like paper stuff. Like there's a paper stuff. That kind of stuff. Or a book. Here's another book. This came from my Once Upon a Book Club thing. That's going to be next after I'm done reading these in order because I'm anal retentive and I have to read everything in order. That's the No Nonsense magazine by Beverly International. I love their supplements and they have really inspiring stories in there. See, I digressed again. Another rabbit trail. But anyway, where was I? So I'm apparently not going to be reading in bed anymore. I'll have to get up and go out to the living room to read. So I don't know how that's going to go. I'm going to have to store the books out in the living room. So there we go. That is what we're doing for now. And I will get back with you later. By the way, this is going to be a super long video, probably. Sorry about that, but I thought detail may help people to help themselves with their sleep. And I love helping people. And plus, I just want to be able to look back at this and see what the heck happened to me so I can recall why I'm doing what I'm doing later on. So anyway, there we go. That's that. And I will be back next week after my appointment, most likely with my doctor, unless I have something super inspiring or another crazy rabbit trail to follow in the meantime. By the way, what I said about 250,000 people seeing this and it going viral, that was a joke. It just wasn't a very good one. This isn't going to go viral, but you know what? If my experience can help 1 or 2 people to sleep better during the night and have a better quality of life, I'm down. Okay, now I'm out until next week. So I am sitting outside the VA clinic on Thursday. Is this the 27th or 28th? I know what day it is. I just don't know what date of October. And I just got done with my first appointment where she kind of gave me assignments for sleep. I forgot my glasses. My daughter dropped me off. She's in town visiting, and we're going to go to lunch afterwards. So I'm going to be squinting a little while I read the notes of what we covered. But she took an average of my sleep times, whether it was broken up or not, each night. She came up with about 6.5 hours. And she asked me what time I wanted to wake up every day. And I said 5:30 a.m. And then she backed that up 6.5 hours. And she said, you need to go to bed at 11 o'clock every night. And I laughed out loud because I'm someone who's trying to fall asleep at like 9:30, 10 at the latest. My husband's gonna get a big kick out of that one. So I'm supposed to go to bed then. I'm set my alarm for 5:30 and I'm going to get up at 5:30 whether I'm done sleeping or not. I am not to spend any time in bed doing anything but sleeping and intimate activities. That's what that is the theme of all of this. I hear it all the time. So if I do wake up and I roll over and I perceive I cannot fall back asleep, it's been about 5 or 10 minutes, I think, because I'm also not supposed to be looking at a clock. I'm just to get out of bed, do something quiet, and then go back to bed if I want to, if it's not 5:30 yet, but still get up at 5:30 even if I wake up in the middle of the night. So what we're trying to do right now is basically retrain my brain to get all of the sleep that I've been getting in one fell swoop, one big clump. I did tell her that ideally what I would like is to fall asleep at 9:30 and get up at 5:30. Although the truth is, I don't think I really need 8 hours of sleep. I think a good 7 or 7.5 would be good. So she said, we'll work on that later, but right now we just want to get all of the sleep that I've been getting. And honestly, I've been functioning surprisingly well on 6.5 hours of broken sleep. So we're going to see about getting me all of that at once, see how I do, and we'll adjust from there. I've typically been a person who likes to go to bed very early and wake up very early, so we'll see how this goes. But I'm functioning okay, and that's a good thing, and it's helping me relax a little bit. So there we go. That is this week's appointment. I will report back next week with the next steps. I also need to add, I'm supposed to be turning the clock away from me so that I can hear the alarm, but I can't do something to not actually see the clock. Okay, there we go. So that's an important thing too, because that way you don't worry over what time it is so much, which I am a clock starer. I'll look at the clock and I'll add up how many hours I've had and how am I going to do on this. So that'll relieve some pressure as well. Alrighty, now we'll see you on the video next week. Well, it is Friday, the 3rd of November. It's just over a week since the last time I recorded. I just got out of the, I guess she's a psychiatrist, sleep psychiatrist. Well, she's a psychiatrist and she specializes in sleep. But I just got out of her office. This last week was a bit of a disaster. I was actually thinking that going to bed at 11 and getting up at 5:30 would do well for me, because going to bed so late I would be so exhausted. And most nights I did manage to go to bed by 11, but I was so stressed that I only had 6.5 hours to sleep, that and I had a lot of stuff to do most days, that I was not sleeping well, because I was so worried about, oh, you got to sleep if I woke up just a little bit. I won't go into the gory details of the whole thing, but night before last I got, on the optimistic side, I got 3 hours of sleep. I went to bed at about 10 after 11 and I woke up at 1:11. I remember looking at that. on the clock. And one thing I'm not supposed to be doing is clock watching, and I knew that, but I didn't understand how much I wasn't supposed to be clock watching, because she said, okay, again, we're not supposed to watch the clock. And I said, yeah, but I'm supposed to record for how long I was asleep and all that stuff, and how can I do it without watching the clock? And she said, I want you to guess. She said, accuracy is not that important. Don't look at the clock at all until the alarm goes off in the morning. So I'm such an exacting person, and I'm a numbers girl. I have a hard time with people's names, but if everyone had a number, we'd be in business. I'd know who you are all the time. So the numbers have always been really important to me, and I absolutely love math. So this is, I'm just not going to look at the clock anymore, and just let the alarm wake me up like she suggested. And apparently I was supposed to be doing all the times. So I guess I just didn't quite understand the rules. I'm really tired right now, but last night I gave in. I had to drive today, and I needed to be safe. And I thought she may not be happy with me doing this, but I got to get some sleep. So I did the FabFitFun unboxing, and I had the sleep gummy. It was a THC and melatonin. And melatonin typically helps me get to sleep, but it does not keep me asleep. But this one, there was something in it. So I broke open that bottle, and I took 2 of them about an hour, I think about 8:30 or so. And at 9:45, I was feeling pretty tired. I just went to bed, and I woke up once to use the restroom, and then I went back to bed, and I woke up at 5:30 when the alarm went off. So I got better sleep last night, and she actually said it was good that I did that. You got to do some catch-up sleep. Your body does need rest. So we're going to start over again, but she asked what I thought would help, and aside from somebody doing the organization of our basement for me, because we've got everything out of our huge storage area, it looks like the basement threw up storage right now, and that has been on my mind too, trying to do that, doggedly get all of that organized and put back in there in a good way. And we're going through our stuff and getting rid of old things, and just trying to get that space organized so that we can function in it better. The rest of our house is organized, but that's kind of been the catch-all. Everybody has that spot. Well, ours is a giant basement space. So anyway, where was I going with that? See, there I went off on a rabbit trail because I'm so tired. Oh, anyway, she asked what would help. So I said, other than fixing our basement, I think going to bed at 10:30, just half an hour earlier, and then waking up at 5. She said I could wake up later, go to 5:30. And I said, no, I just want to get to where I can make it 6.5 hours solid with sleep. Because the first couple nights of this week, I did do the 6.5 hours, and I felt real good. But I said, I think going to bed at 10:30, I am just not a night person. I'm a morning girl, and it's much easier for me to get up at 5 than it is for me to go to bed at 11. So that's going to change. We had to tweak it. So this first week was sort of a bust, although she tried to put a positive spin on it and say we learned stuff. But I think really I could have been so much further ahead if I just wouldn't have looked at the clock. And I should have said I wanted to be up at 5 instead of 5:30, just knowing that I tend to 11 is too late. It's too late for me to go to bed. I fell asleep several times watching TV, even though I didn't necessarily feel real sleepy. I just woke up on the couch and like, whoops, I slept, which then also made going back to bed and getting to sleep harder. So anyway, this is a lot of stuff, but that's what we're going to do going forward for the next week. I have another appointment next Thursday, so just under a week, and we'll see how this goes, and I'll check in with you then. I hope this is helping somebody somehow. Okay, that's it. We will see ya next week. It is Saturday, the 12th of November. My appointment with my sleep therapist was on Thursday, the 10th. And I didn't record because I forgot, because it was a phone appointment and there was so little to it really that it just slipped my mind. So anyway, I thought I'd sit here in the parking lot of Wendy's before I go through the drive-through for my husband and son and just tell you quickly what happened. So the week before, the week after the last recording, the week before this, I slept a lot better. It was a lot better. I was doing on average about 6 hours a night, which is really good for me. I made it through the time change where we put our clocks back just fine. My body I managed to stay up till 10 o'clock that night, which would have been 11 normally. And then I just kind of naturally got tired and went to sleep a little bit later each night. So fortunately, that didn't cause a big problem. The only night I had any sort of trouble was one where I accidentally looked at the clock. So not looking at the clock is absolutely key for me. And if you're having problems with sleeping, that might want to be something you try and do. So I'm absolutely guessing in the mornings when I do my log. So it's going a whole lot better. And she was encouraged by that. We decided we just continue like we are. We do have grandsons coming a week from tomorrow. We're going to pick them up, and they're young grandsons, 3 and 5, and we're going to, they live out of state, and we're going to bring them back with us for about a week. We're very excited about that, but that might mess with my sleep a little bit, but she said it's really not that big a deal. I just need to still try and be consistent with my bedtimes. I can allow myself to go to bed a little bit early or wake up a little bit later if I'm feeling especially tired. So that's really good. And she said sometimes your body will self-correct, and I think it did that last night. Last night I went to bed at 9:30. I just couldn't stay awake any longer. I was trying, I couldn't. And then I woke up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And when I went back to bed, I kind of felt kind of rested, but I thought, well, let's see what I do. Tossed and turned a little bit, but I did manage to keep sleeping. And I actually got up at, was it 6:30? So I think altogether I probably got at least 7.5 or 8 hours of sleep. So that is a good thing. It was a little bit broken, but I'm not worried about it because I know what to do now. And I think that's part of what the sleep therapy is about, is to get you to stop worrying. So that's the update for now. I don't have an appointment with her until December 1st, I think, because of things going on in my life and the holiday schedule and everything. So I will probably not be back with you until then. And all right, that's it. Now I'm going to go through the Wendy's drive-thru, and we'll talk to you after my next appointment or when something significant happens. Good morning. It is Sunday, the 27th of November. I have no makeup on or anything. I just got up. I'm having a cup of tea, just doing my morning routine. And I was watching a video by Tina from Tina's Best Midlife, where she was talking about changes she's made to help herself get a better night's sleep, because this can be so difficult for us as we age, women in particular, I think. So I'll try and remember to link that video down below. May not, but I'll try. So anyway, it reminded me of a conversation I had with my counselor and a subsequent change I made when we were talking about me having trouble sleeping before she put me in with the sleep therapist. She asked if I had hot flashes at night. And I said, yes, I do. I wake up in a cold sweat. I'm throwing blankets off, all that good stuff. And then she mentioned hot flashes during the day. And I said, I'd never had a hot flash during the day. And that made me think that possibly I'm not having hot flashes if it's only happening at night. So I started looking at what was happening when I went to bed at night. Now, I run on cold. My hands are freezing cold right now. And another rabbit trail I'm going to chase, but that's one reason why I choke on losing weight. I have about 20 pounds I could lose, but I get so uncomfortably cold. It's almost painful when I'm thin, and I'm healthier, I know, but I'm also freezing. So anyway, that had nothing to do with any of this, but I am that cold that it keeps me from, it has me hesitating to lose any weight. And I like to sleep in a cold house, though, because I sleep better when I'm breathing cold air, when the room is not hot. So we turn the heat way down, and so it's usually about 68 or less degrees in here at night. But then I love to pile blankets on because I like for my body to feel nice and warm. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I'm doing this because I'm having the hot flashes, because I'm too hot. Maybe it's too many blankets. So I started just removing most of the blankets from the bed. So usually I'm sleeping with the sheet, one blanket, and then I sleep underneath my bedspread. Before, I had 2 blankets plus an Afghan my grandma made. One of her Afghans spread over top of me. So I got rid of a lot of the heaviness on the bed. And I think that's helped a lot. I don't have hot flashes anymore. I think I was just getting too hot. So I, by the way, went through menopause. This might be TMI, but at the age of 45, I was completely done, and that my cycles were over. I really didn't have bad menopause symptoms. And so that, I think that also has helped me to not sleep so good, that I went through that so early. So anyway, that was just one thing I wanted to mention, was that too many blankets, was getting too warm at night, and that was another contributing factor to the sleep. Alrighty, I'm sure I will be back tomorrow after I've talked to my sleep therapist. I'm doing a lot better, by the way, but I'll talk about all that when I come back tomorrow. Hey, it is Monday, the 28th of November, and I think this is going to be my last vlog entry. I got off the phone with my sleep therapist, and things are going really well, to the point where she asked if I even wanted to continue with her, but we decided that we'll check back in about a month. So last night didn't go so good, but that was my fault. I really love whiskey. I hardly ever drink, but after kind of the week we'd had, a granddaughter was also born last week. So that new grandbaby I had mentioned a time or two before, she was born on the 22nd, for anybody who's wondering. So of course that was exciting. There was a little bit of distress. My daughter was whisked off to surgery for bleeding that couldn't stop. The baby was in respiratory distress. I won't go into all the gory details, but it was a little scary there for a little bit. But everybody's fine now, and they're home. So she's had lots of questions for her mama, and of course I've been concerned about my daughter healing. And the baby's beautiful, by the way. Beautiful little thing. She's got dark hair and blue eyes. Again, I chase another rabbit trail. I digress. I'm so good at that. But so all that's been going on, in addition to having the grandsons and the traveling back and forth to pick them up and then drop them back off and all that good stuff. And all that said and done, I really slept pretty good. But last night, I really wanted my whiskey, and it just kind of kept me awake. It made me wake up easier, but I'm not worried about it, because I know that my body will make up for it. I learned that by keeping those logs, and keeping the logs, seeing that my body really was getting enough sleep, even though I didn't feel like it, has helped me to relax, which has been really key in then helping me to get more sleep. I don't bring reading material to bed. That's another important thing for me. The one sad thing I have about all of this sort of is I'm not getting as much reading done, because I did so much before I went to sleep, and then if I woke up in the middle of the night, that was a great opportunity to read. So whether it's paper books or Kindle, that just doesn't happen anymore. I don't watch the clock. Watching the clock was making everything worse and making me nervous about how much sleeping I was doing, and I was, doing the math and all that stuff. So that doesn't happen anymore. It's turned completely away from me. And even if I wake up in the middle of the night, like to use a restroom, I don't look at the clock. I just trust that if the alarm is set, it will go off and I will wake up in time. So that has helped quite a bit too. And no, not too many blankets. Too hot doesn't work for me. Trying to think of any other tips that I learned during this, but those things have really been key. So I think I'm just not going to make any more vlog posts after this. If I could go through that kind of a week and still get enough sleep and be okay, I think I'm going to be relaxed and all right moving forward. I know this is not an unboxing video, and like I said in the very beginning, the algorithm is going to be completely confused about what to do with this thing. But I know a lot of women my age watch my channel. And if just one of you is having some trouble sleeping, and something I've said here, or if this is a cheat sheet of sorts for you to be able to start doing like your own type of sleep therapy, and it helps you to sleep better, then I think it's worth it. It's going to throw my averages on watch time down. It's going to throw several averages down with YouTube, and it's not really going to help my channel at all, likely. But if it'll help another person, that's worth it to me. So I just love that I have this platform and I have the opportunity to help if I can. And if it does help you, please let me know in the comments down below, or send me an email. My email address is also down below. I would love to hear about it. And with that, I'm going to let everybody go. We will see you on the next video. Bye-bye, and be blessed. I'm getting ready to, wow, there's sun. I'm getting ready to record this video. There's where I look on sleep, which has nothing to do with my channel. And I just opened up the window to get some better light. And I noticed, I think there's a hole in the window. I'm going to show you, okay? Can you see that? I think that's a great big hole on the outer, because it's not a hole right here, glass of the window. We're going to have to call the window company and have this replaced. Okay, it has nothing to do with this video, but there you go. Hole on the glass.